we are here today with Myra from Simple Beauty Artistry.
Hey.
And yay! And she was actually nominated to come on to the podcast from other artists in our area. So yeah, I'm really excited. We have known of each other for years, but we never really even had a conversation like ever.
Yeah, oh, really?
It's
like so weird.
Yeah, it's weird, right? But I'm like, this is going to be awesome. Yeah. So I'm really excited to get to know you a little bit and learn about, your journey, your business. Anything cray that's been happening.
Whole life is cray.
And of course we have Katie too. So yep, we are gonna get started and tell me a little bit about how you got started in the industry from the beginning.
Okay,
sure. Here, hold on. The other. Yeah, just shake it.
Just
there you go. You have
Thank you. Okay.
Let me see where it started. It started so long ago. I've always been really a natural and wanted to do hair and makeup.
Okay.
I've had family in the industry, so it was like every summer, go cut hair, sweep up, wash towels. So that I always had an interest for it. But as I tell a lot of clients and artists, I got married young and dumb in high school.
Okay.
So at that point I was like, you know what, I'm probably not going to go to college. It's going to be hard, difficult. Let me have a trade or a skill or something. So I actually took cosmetology in high school.
Okay.
And I've done other little jobs, but that's just kind of where I've always been. I've worked with Tony and Guy, Visible Changes, MAC, support different companies, and I did not venture out until I had kids, because you can't have kids in retail,
right? No, ma'am,
it's not going to happen. So that's where I started my own business, because I had kids.
Awesome. And what year was that?
2010.
Okay.
Yes, 2010.
Very cool.
October.
So did you primarily do like cut color? What was your specialty before you moved into bridal?
Before it was just cutting. I love cutting hair. I hate doing color. I don't.
Really? It's one or the other, really.
I hate it.
It's a lot of science.
Yes, I hate it. Like, people are like, what doesn't look like that? Well, you know what? That's not me.
Yeah.
Hair color. I
Fuck it up.
hated it. Yes, hated it. I just did haircuts, and I actually preferred doing men's haircut.
Okay.
My favorite job was at Supercuts. I did so many cuts. I love, it sounds bad, but I love men. When they come in, they don't talk, girl.
No,
they're
so
just
easy.
There, quiet, they're loyal. Every 2 weeks, you learn their stuff. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And just thank you, and I'll tip. They don't complain.
They're not messy.
Yeah,
they're not messy like girls.
Yeah. At all. So I loved it. The only time I got a little harder was when I did go to barber school, because, I was working at Supercuts in the hood.
Point. Okay.
So, like ball fades, high and tight, and shaving and so forth. So, I went to barber school just to get that extra. I had a lot of African American gentlemen that, their hair texture is different. Or when girls would come in and I had to edge them up or braid their hair and stuff like that. Like, I went to barber school for that additional training.
Okay.
But that was my favorite. I hate cutting hair and like blowouts and the drama. No.
So you went from that. That was your first love, and then you move into bridal, which is all
like
women, emotional chaos.
Right. Yeah. So what happened?
Yeah.
I like the tea.
Oh.
I like the tea. I like the drama. It's fun, and it's very fulfilling to give that client that moment of I look my best. Is so I can't even describe the feeling. Like, this is one of the most important times of their life, and like making them feel so good, and just that feeling is so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling, but then too, the tea, girl, like, we see the clients, we talk to them usually
family
on average,
dynamics.
about
the
6
dynamics.
months to a year before, and they're like, oh my God, girl, my mother-in-law said this, my sister-in-law and the cousin and the bride. So I'm just like, tell me more.
Yeah.
She's been it. Yeah. So I love it. It's the tea, and just knowing, what's happening, and there's never a dull moment.
No.
Never a dull moment.
That is
So,
true.
That's kind of why I went in that direction.
Wow. Cool. Okay. So you continually, you went in, did you take classes? Like, how did you dip into bridal specifically?
So Dipping into bridal directly, I'm not going to say I actually originally started there, because when I broke off, I was working at MAC, and obviously working at MAC, you have everything, you know, Fashion Week, I did Olympics, I did TV, commercial, you know, a little bit of everything. It wasn't specifically. So
That's
when
cool.
I did break off from them, I still kind of catered to that market. I wasn't specific to weddings. I feel more when I kind of branched out to be more weddings/quinces was when the market started getting saturated, and it's like, what is worth my time, my value, and worth what I have invested in myself. So yes, I still, even to this day, continue to take classes, like every year, you know, airbrush and new equipment and new styles, trainings, you know, when
so
the everything changes. You're always learning. So even like when the Hollywood wave came in, like going to New York to take this class, going here to take this, like you're always training. But just because I do mostly weddings and I take a training to kind of perfect or see that niche doesn't mean it can't be applied to anything else. Because I'm still doing, you know, quinceañeras, proms, you know, graduations, homecomings. It's just that is more of our bread and butter.
Awesome. So, and I think too, with, you know, if you continually look into trainings and like making your, like, refining yourself, you're always going to be relevant,
right?
You know, like
on top of the trends,
if you hold still, you're just going to start to like fade
out,
you know what I mean? So
of course. And that's true, because I remember the styles that I first started with.
Girl.
The styles that you're seeing now whatsoever, even the makeup, you know, remember the
so
big
different,
block eyebrows, you know,
from 2016, like it was,
girl, so I mean, you're only harming yourself, but that also reflects on your cost, your clientele, the bracket that you're in, because you've invested so much in yourself that you know, you need to charge and work or reach that client to fit for you.
So speaking of pricing, like tell me where you started in pricing when you started. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Like everybody starts somewhere, but then tell me how it kind of progressed and now how important pricing is to weed out the...
Without saying how old I am and the specific year.
Okay.
So my pricing at that time started for makeup $35.
Same.
Hair was $45.
Yeah, I was like under 50. I'm like, y'all, what is wrong with us?
But
you guys start somewhere.
I mean, we all start somewhere, right?
I agree.
But at that time, it still wasn't as lucrative. It wasn't as much in demand.
Right.
You know, you don't necessarily have to have a license to do makeup, but you do for hair. The training and the styles were different. So I feel like,
and products
at that time,
like everything is so different.
Mind you, gas used to be 98 cents
right.
when I was driving.
Right.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, the cost of product, you know, where hairspray or a can of bobby pins was $2.
Oh my God, they're like $12, $14 now.
I know.
So
it's crazy.
That you have to consider all of that. Plus, again, your training and your value of yourself. So, for me now, what I have to budget is my marketing, insurance. Now all these venues and require insurance.
Yep.
I do have a studio, so the overhead of the studio.
Yes.
You know, your personal assistant, your contracts, your booking companies,
legal this.
So you have to consider all of that for it. So that's kind of how you have to base and look at it year round. How much are you spending, and how much are you worth? And that's kind of how I price it at.
Yeah. Very cool. So talking about like growing your business and growing your reach as far as marketing, tell me a little bit about where, you know, the journey as where you started. It usually starts word of mouth type thing, and then how that progressed to what you're doing now. Like, what do you spend your time and effort on the most?
Well, you know, it's funny because I think Katie and I have talked about this before. I can't even answer that question now because we're kind of lost and confused, you know, like back in my day, like when we started, it's like word of mouth. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to do your hair for free, girl, but hook me up with like 2 clients. So, you know, it's kind of like a trade.
Bartering.
So you were putting your name out there. That's kind of how you started. And then for a while there, it was like magazines. How many times were you featured? What magazine?
Published. All that.
All that stuff was all about published. And then it was...
Yeah, people don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't look at magazines anymore.
No.
And then it's like, how many followers do you have? How many this? And then now it's like, they don't even care about that. It's more of, where are you at? What have you been seen in? And right now, just looking at kind of like the end of year for me personally is freaking social media.
Yeah.
Social media. And I am not even on TikTok. I don't know how to do TikTok or anything. I know a lot of friends who do get clients from TikTok, but everything is changing so fast.
Yeah.
So right now, everything is literally, what can the client do at the tip of their fingers?
Yes. And how quickly can they get it done?
Right. Because even, now, like the bridal extravaganza, these trade shows and stuff, that doesn't do anything anymore. That's not in it anymore.
I know.
So, and you had a lot of success with that.
I did years ago, but it's just the last 2-3 years that I haven't done it.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed any difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Same.
So it's just people are not doing it anymore, So I can't even answer that because it's like constantly changing.
I feel like what you said though, like the progression of where it was and to where it is now, it's still like that. Like first it was like referrals. It was like a lot of bartering. You were trading. You were doing a lot of free work just to build community. And then once you build the community, but you have to keep those people around to remember who you are.
Right.
So you have to capture them on social media. But now so many people are on social media, and we're so inundated with our phones that people are like, this is too much. And so they're getting off of social media, and we're going back to that like person-to-person business.
Yes, that
and, like,
and Google.
So those are my two top right now, and I got really stuck on like, I need this many followers, I need this and I need that, and I'm like, honestly, it doesn't matter. What I created my Instagram for was to build community around the people I already am in contact with. And so that's kind of how I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. It's not about how many followers. It's not like these new people aren't going to come see you. They're in another state. It doesn't matter. Like, it's about building that community within who you already have, and they're like, oh, Katie, the girl that does hair and makeup, or you know, like,
I'm not even there yet. I don't even. I think the last time I
think
posted,
you do, though.
Last time I posted on my Instagram was probably like 3 months ago or 2 months. I don't even.
Yeah,
know.
but you're active though, no? Or on Facebook?
No.
Like,
Like,
whenever you post though, like you do have a community and like people do engage.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but
no, you didn't think so?
No, not really. No,
I think so.
I don't know. I guess maybe comparing it to others, or I don't know. I just don't feel like it's too much. Like I said, I haven't posted in a while, and the only time I really post is because somebody posted and tagged me, and I'm like, repost.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's so much easier versus like, what am I
going to talk
today?
about? Yeah,
right. This is hashtag. Oh Lord, I'm driving. I'm on my way to. I want to start. I just don't have time.
Yeah.
And again, like what we were saying, having kids. It's like so much harder, like to try to even find a post, and I can't even say. And I'm so guilty of this, and clients laugh at me all the time. I come in, I set up my tripod, and I'm like, all right, let's go. All right, first hair, first makeup, take a before picture, and I'm like 7 in, and I'm like, holy shit, I did not take no afters of nobody. I'm packed up. I'm not gonna do it, and I forget. I'm like, people are gonna think I don't work, but I really do work. But it's just I just don't have time. So
I think you're more focused on the client experience and giving a quality service versus like, let me document this. There's one, and that's why you're busy. That's why you have a studio. You can afford to pay people.
I think consistently with that, to answer is word of mouth.
For sure.
That's never changed.
Yeah, and that's the consistent thing. And as long as you're working, you're going to get those referrals.
That's really the most consistent one.
Yeah.
Same, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even when I thought, this will work or that'll work, it's always gone back to word of mouth or like Google, and then them. Like, because with the spa, like, I feel like people are starting to find me on Google more, but they make their decision based off what they see on my website and my Instagram and reviews, and that's all community building.
Yeah. So
it is kind of like a referral. Like, you have to have the Google, and they'll find you, but, like, you have to sell them somehow. Like, hey, this is me.
But see, even that.
No?
Even that, I was looking, because I am doing it. I'm working on it, but I'm on the 2-year plan. I would look back at my this will happen in 2 years. I was looking at my website.
You haven't done it in a while?
13 years. I have not updated it.
Wow.
13 years.
Wow.
And it's like the most basic one. I got a template. I did it first time.
Yeah.
My Instagram automatically goes to it. I have not updated anything.
That's crazy.
Like at all. So I'm like,
girl, how?
I'm like, this client has like 4 kids. This one's been married twice already. I don't have time. Like I don't like. I just haven't had time, you know? So now, obviously, I've done actually some marketing classes, coaching, and so forth. And I'm like, okay, I am now going to restructure sometime in the next year or so.
It's a lot. I just did it.
Invest. See what is quality important to invest, keep the company afloat. Cut out whatever isn't. Outsource and delegate, which is going to be really hard for me. Delegate.
It's hard.
But... I can't do it all.
But things are going to move so much quicker when you decide to actually delegate, because at that point you just manage.
Exactly.
And you don't have to do it all
just
yourself.
Like with your team.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. I mean, that's the goal. But also, like, if I'm getting too old, I don't want to work as much anymore. I have a great team. I'm confident in them. I trust them, that I just want to maybe do one wedding a month myself. Have the team take care of it, and which comes to us launching Simple Beauty Academy, of wanting to start teaching those who are coming into the industry now. And that's going to be my next venture, to start teaching.
That's exciting.
That's awesome.
That's cool, because I'm too old for this already. I'm
Yeah.
tired. I'm done.
That's the natural progression, though, of
It
like
is.
where all of us, I feel like, are in our. We've all been around about the same time, with ish, right? We all been more than 10 years, all of us. So you've done it. You've created the business. You've built the team. You've trained the team. Now you're like, okay, what's next? Like, do I launch a product line, which you've already done?
Which I already done.
Like you've done, it's like check, right? And then the next step is like, okay, I've done it. Now I'm going to teach other people how to do it, and that's just like the natural progression of.
And it kind of comes back like full circle, because you want to give back. You know, you want to say, okay. Then you have all these people, especially after COVID, you have all these people entering the industry because they went to YouTube Academy, and so then they're out there. They're starting their 35 faces, right? Their $35 faces and stuff, and you see that, and they're undercutting. The people want a deal, people want all of that, and then they're like, but wait a minute, how do I do this business part of it? Or how do I handle a bad review? Or, what about client experience? I just want to do makeup, So I think that aspect of it is what's really needed, because you can have talented people, but they have no idea about business. And then you have people who are like, oh, good about business, but they are not talented. So you got to learn the skill, you know what I mean?
Sad.
So I think there's definitely a place and a space for that, and I've seen so many people reach out, and they want to learn, even people who have been in the industry for 30 something years that have been behind the chair, and they're just like, I want something new. And that's one thing I love about like our licenses, is that you could, cosmetology is just it's just an umbrella. You can change it up, and which is good for creatives, because that's where we get bored.
We go back and forth.
But truly setting it up to where they're successful, and not just, oh, it's a hobby now.
Right. And that's one thing that I want to focus. And a lot of artists now, even veterans that are been in the industry for a while, they reach out to me like, something as simple as your accounting, your budgeting, your tax write-offs. I'm fortunate that about 9 members in my family are CPAs, including my mom.
Look it up, girl.
I've done that. I've been doing that for like ever. So awesome. I know how to do. So, some of these veterans will be like, hey, girl, can I write this off? Hey, what do you think of this? At the end of the year, they're asking me questions. So what I want to do, not just focus on, the whole training of the actual artistry, which obviously focuses, but there's the business aspect of it, the training aspect of it. There's so much that a lot of artists even now don't know. And then
I don't it's shocking when I get into like inside someone's business a little bit, and I'm like, whoa, how are you functioning? Like, it's actually scary. I'm like, y'all know nothing about business.
But that comes back to it being more of a hobby for them. Which is another thing that I've discussed with a lot of artists, and I feel like it's a problem in that elephant of the room, that they don't understand that as a subcontractor, an employee, or whatever, you're getting paid what you're getting paid, because you're not doing none of this. You're not paying or seeing all the back end that it comes to you working that client on that day.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of times, because I do have some side. A lot of times I have a lot of my artists who have ventured on their own and had their companies, and I support them. I love it. It's, for me, it's also almost a feel of accomplishment that I see them blossom. But then they're like, damn, Myra, now I understand, like, I don't want to do this emailing and this, booking and dealing with the complaints. I just want to show up and do makeup. I'm like, yeah. But you complain about what you're making. Yeah. You go, you'll think we're making this big money. Yeah. And it's not.
You got big expenses.
Yeah. It's big. There comes a lot of expense.
And that's one thing I realized, too, is that people... They don't understand. I hate the B word, the budget. Like, I hate that word because I feel constrained. But
let's be free.
But I love the idea of managing cash flow. So if you definitely have like your report card, your income versus your expenses, and to see and just check all the boxes, make sure see what you got at the end. And making sure it's covered and learning how to manage that and then invest that and then into, what portion goes into your education, what portion goes into your marketing. Because, again, you don't want to be stagnant. It's not going to work out well for you, period, if you don't think about that.
Or even know or see, even I have some artists that I'm like, okay, well, how many weddings did you do this month? I don't know. Well, like, how much was your payout? How much was gas? Did you change your oil? Did you... I don't know. Yeah. And I'm just like, what?
You gotta know your numbers.
You have to know all of this, because what if you're just literally working just to get by?
Yeah.
What if it's not working out for you at all? Maybe
what if it's costing you money?
Yeah, what if it's costing you money? What if, like, y'all have no idea. So that's part of also kind of like where I would want to grow these artists that are out there. And it's not specifically to the new artists. It could be veteran artists, anyone that could need this training. So that's kind of the next venture that we're going in.
Yay, that's good. I love that. And it's so needed. Yeah. It really is. And it can be in any realm, too. It can be the bridal hair and makeup. It can be, any cosmetologist, hair cutting, color, everybody really needs it. Especially if they're like suite rentals or booth rentals. They have no idea.
Exactly. Clueless.
Because they're used to... being on a team or having somebody else think for them.
The overhead is insane.
And you know what? Sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. There are times that I'm like, I don't want to do this or deal with it. I will work for other companies.
Yeah,
I do it.
Same. I do the same.
Let me tell you something. I would be happy to go show up at
do my job and leave.
At a pay cut than what I would a normal weekend, just to show up, do what I have to do, and peace out. I don't want to deal with credit card payments, declining, collecting, contracts, emails, timeline. I'd rather just take a little bit less and just work for somebody else.
It's not really, though, at the end of the day. Like, if you really look at the numbers, you're probably making a smidge more if you're going to work for somebody else than, like, yourself. Yeah. But the thing that sucks, though, is you still have that overhead of, like, your accounting system and all that. So it's like you still have to manage that and run it. But it's nice to be able to just... Like, I don't stress when I'm working for other companies.
Right.
I do. Like, girls are like, hey, are you available? Like, sign me up, girl. Yeah. I will block my calendar. I will be there. And it's like, you just show up, you do your job, and you leave. And it's like, yay.
It's so much easier.
Like, you don't have to
the
stress
only thing you
it.
have to worry about is if they're happy or not. That's it.
Yeah. And then that's not that hard.
No.
Sometimes it is.
No. Yeah. Sometimes it can be. I had one this last weekend that I was like, I called Katie. I was like, girl, it's been a hot minute since I had a hard person. This was a hard person. It was a mother. And
always
always the mothers, right? The mothers are the
so
maid of honor.
They can't deal with themselves aging. They can't.
And I think it was a cultural thing, first of all. So that was, part of it. But she never wore makeup either. And so, but then she had all these allergies. And I was like, tell me exactly what you're allergic to. Is it an ingredient or is it, because if you're so allergic, I think you would know it specifically.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm allergic to, I have nasal allergies and I'm allergic to mites and dust. And I was like,
same, everybody is.
I said, well, I don't have any mites or dust in my kit, so I think we're good. Girl. And then, like, literally... she didn't want any makeup, no product around her eyes. So she wanted it very thin, but she didn't want me to thin it out. So I was like, okay. Then this woman, we were talking about lip color, and she, of course, wanted it very natural. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go with your undertones, and you want it darker, so that's what we'll do. And she got up and started going through my kit and pulling stuff out of my kit. And I was like, oh, no. oh no.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this isn't going to happen.
I don't know what I would have
sorry.
done. I'm like,
I was like, I'll be happy to help you. I said, but if I can't find what I need when I need it, I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, Katie, I'm sorry.
Girl, this
is what she was helping me with.
You were way better than me because at that point,
I would have been like, I'm declining the service.
Yeah.
I'm declining the service.
Well, yeah. If it were me,
you probably would have.
I would have if it was my event.
So sorry.
At the same time,
I've actually declined.
it's okay. Like,
I've actually
you never
declined
know.
the service
working
for somebody else. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had that happen. This girl had lice.
Oh.
Okay. Bad.
Yuck.
Okay, that was like literally the one and only time I've ever had it happen to me, and she didn't know. I guess like some people they don't feel it or whatever. Like she
Girl, you feel it.
Yeah.
I don't even have it. And I'm starting to feel something right now. And I know I don't have it. I'm starting to itch, girl.
So we were out in like I don't know. It was like College Station area. Like we were way out there. Anyways, there was like 12 other bridesmaids. This was a huge bridal party, and I'm like, this girl better say something to these people. I didn't embarrass her, and so I put it on my phone. I said, hey, you have lice. I cannot do your hair. And I typed up on my phone and I showed it to her, and she was like obviously mortified. And I'm like, hey, like sorry. And then also the makeup artist declined because your makeup brushes are right on the hairline.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
can't. Yeah.
She was livid. She was like, I can understand y'all canceling my hair, but not my makeup. Like pissed and made a huge scene about it. And I'm like,
sorry,
you're embarrassing yourself.
You're lucky that I didn't tell everyone in this room that you have lice and to stay away from you because they were sharing hairbrushes, and I'm like, y'all are all gonna get lice. And this girl didn't tell anybody, and then she had one of the other girls do her hair, and I'm like,
oh no,
guarantee the girl saw it. But I'm like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Like it was so fucking awkward.
No,
and that was the only time, and like the mom got ugly with us.
Really?
She was like in the makeup artist's face because this wasn't my client. Like I was helping a friend, and I was like, I literally do not know what to do in this situation. Like you can't bully someone into like doing services.
No.
And she's like sitting here explaining like, hey, these hairs on this makeup brush are gonna touch your hair with the lice.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I don't care. And I'm like, well, everyone else does.
At that point too, if
It's
that's
a
the
liability.
attitude and you explained it, ma'am, here we go again. This is why people have to learn.
Yeah.
And
It
they
was
need
crazy.
to have the knowledge. You know what? We don't need to discuss. Here's my contract where it states I don't have to. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
she would not stop.
Yeah.
I was like,
if you don't understand
it's
why
hazardous to everybody else here. It can't. That you're not going to have that liability.
Not good.
Sorry.
You've done pissed off your makeup artist already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what? It was.
Yeah.
This was a couple.
Usually,
years
like
ago
with my
as well.
team, because I usually have my assistants. They're prepping, right? So they start at the nape of the neck anyway. They know what to look for. And if
I
they
do a little hair
say-
check before I even like get in there. You got to.
If they say, because I always teach them the difference between lice, eggs, nits, and dandruff or psoriasis or whatever.
Very different. Yeah.
And very different. We have pictures, we go through the whole thing, but we like invoke a code. It's like they sit there and they're like, oh, hey, Emily, can you check this out? Like, I know what you're doing. I know you know what to do, right? So if I'm going to go check something out,
it's something serious.
It is. Yeah. And then from there, I stop the service. We do a final clean on everything, and we take everything out. Everything's plastic, and then from there we talk to the bride and say, hey, this is a situation. We're not going to embarrass anybody, but we're just going to refuse services. And then let them know too.
Awkward.
Yeah, it is.
It's
but
so awkward.
But you know what?
But if they amp it up, then you just say, oh, no.
But not just that. We understand and see how and why it is awkward. But almost, I'm more of like, why is it awkward? You know you have lice.
Like, don't go get your hair done if you know you have lice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't even
how
put
do you
someone in that
not
situation.
know? You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, do they have kids or are they teachers?
No, she was a single, older 30s.
Wow.
I'm like, how do you get a lice if you don't have kids? Like, usually it's the kids bringing it home or something.
I can understand if you have children.
No, she didn't. It was weird.
weird.
It was very weird, y'all.
Well,
anyways.
We always have one, right?
I mean, there's always that one. Who knows where they... And that could come back to, like, how did she get lice? Maybe she was with a friend or somebody who had lice and it just jumped out, or like like sharing a comb or a blown out or something.
Be in a room.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be in a room with a bunch of other women with beautiful, long, thick hair.
That's what I'm saying. She knows she has it.
It's rude.
It's rude. She
It's
should
so
have got
rude.
her service done, or not. I wouldn't have even came to the wedding, girl.
Yeah.
Hell no.
That would just.
Oh, look, I'm just like,
treat me.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. We're like,
Yeah.
well, we understand. You know, we don't want to be awkward or call her out, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You knew.
Yep.
well, you know, like for fear of embarrassing them, but also like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's like your kid's sick. You take them out of school, but you go shopping with them all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Don't get me started.
God.
I'm like,
Right.
so they're just gonna cough all over the toilet paper at Target.
Girl.
Cool.
Or like, you're sick, you have COVID, but it's okay. I'm just gonna continue with my service.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's
I just-
crazy. No.
It's mind-bogging to me. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, we can't make this shit up.
No.
Like, you can't.
No, it's
I,
crazy.
and this is why I do what I do, because I'm here for the tea, girl.
I got a face mask.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Yeah. I mean, never a dull moment.
Mm-mm.
COVID was crazy. Navigating that, like, did you have a lot of cancellations and?
Mm.
I did have
Like,
a lot
had to
of,
rearrange?
not necessarily cancellations. I want to say maybe total, I had like 5 actual cancellations.
Yeah, I only had
where
like
they
2, maybe.
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
actually canceled.
Mhm.
I had a lot of rescheduling.
Yeah,
And
that's stressful.
I honestly, I cannot say I had a hard or rough or a difficult client, because they all knew, like,
Yeah,
I'm
there's-
only available these days.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some of the days that were available because I have a team, hey, you know, we can still move it to this day, but it's not going to be me anymore because I'm already, you know,
Right.
promised to this person. And nobody was upset or anything about
That's
it.
awesome.
It worked out.
Yeah.
And then the ones that did actually fully cancel, I did give them, you know, like, come in for a different experience or
Yep.
hair and makeup, because at that point some of them had already got married, they were pregnant, they were just not,
yeah.
you know, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like, I think honestly one, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even know, I didn't even, it took me a while to respond, and I just gave her money back. I didn't say anything. She canceled because her husband passed from COVID, or fiance.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm like,
That's
I can't
terrible.
even
Yeah.
offer you, like, come back. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, the right thing to do is just
Just
give
give
her
it
the money back. But everybody
every
else
situation
just,
was different.
yeah, an actual
yeah.
refund or anything. It was just her, and everybody else just like, well, I'm pregnant now, so we did like maternity hair and makeup
Yeah.
breaks or stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Use it for something.
thankfully, everybody were able to
Was chill.
accommodate
Nice.
and understanding. You know, it was something out of our control at that time.
We all had to, like, kind of just, okay, we're gonna
Pivot,
ride this
girl.
out.
One
Yeah.
step at a time.
Yeah.
And every scenario was different. So yeah,
Yeah.
I refunded a couple people, and most of them I like either rescheduled. Same thing with me or somebody on my team, or I let them use it for whatever other.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, what do we do? Because like none of us had been through any of this before, so we were like,
Right.
do we just refund? Like what? Every scenario is totally different.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like at least my clients were very understanding. And again, like I said, not many
Yeah.
asked for refunds, but I mean, there were so many other vendors in the industry who went out of business trying to
Yeah.
give everybody refunds.
Oh, I know.
Like you can't. That's
can't do
not
that.
physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's impossible. You
Right.
know? So, thankfully, again, I was blessed. My clients were very understanding, and I only gave that client that one refund.
That's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah,
understandable.
so,
great.
yeah, without
Yeah.
a question. So.
Nice.
Mm.
Crazy.
Wow. So, tell me about, like, what boundaries do you set with your clients? And
Oh my goodness.
because I know
She's like,
you,
no,
on
I'm just
the-
kidding.
before she said her phone's never on do not disturb. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
how
don't
do you
know if I
have
could
that
do that.
balance, or do you not?
yeah,
I don't.
okay.
That is my
Hence the large
weakness.
coffee.
forget the large coffee. This is a quad, baby.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a quad every day.
That's crazy.
That's my downfall. Honestly, that's my downfall. That's what kills me. It's caused many issues, problems. Not only in the business, but in my relationship
Yep.
and with myself, you
Yeah.
know, my mental health and so forth.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a I don't ever put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't have boundaries. I mean, my daughter's birthday was this Sunday, and I was doing a wedding. You know what I mean? Like, there is no boundaries.
Yeah, I've lived that life
I
too.
get texts 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes, you know, not so good ones, and sometimes it's like, hey girl, what do you think about my hair? And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, ma'am.
You're like,
I know,
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping.
Oh my God.
Or it's like, oh my God, the weather says it's gonna rain. What do you think? I don't know. I am asleep, girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no boundaries. I they text me, call me during vacation, and my favorite is, hey, I know you're on vacation, but
yeah.
all the time.
Uh-huh.
No matter what time of the day it is, year, birthday, holidays, Christmas, that's what sucks about our job. There is no off period.
Yeah.
And
because if you do take an off period,
somebody else will get it.
Business stops.
Yeah.
Which is shitty.
Stops. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I have no boundaries, which boundaries as far as turning off my phone. Now, as we were talking about, refusing service.
Sure.
And stuff, yes, I have boundaries, and I have a very strong personality, and I will let you know it. Like, you're not going to talk to me crazy on the wedding day. You're not going to talk to me.
You're not going to be drunk in my face.
Yeah, you're not going to be threatening me and think like I'm going to be like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Like, I do have.
We gonna get hood.
Yeah. Like we are not gonna. I'm not gonna put
Start
up with
taking
that.
off your earrings.
Yeah, girl, I've done that one time.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I do have those kind of boundaries. But yeah, as far as turning off my phone and no.
Have you ever tried it, or like you just too anxious?
I mean, I tried it the day we were in the weekend that we were in the Bahamas. Actually, it was 9 days. We were at the Bahamas.
Damn.
And
that's a long vacation.
Yeah, but I still after the second day, I was like, I have to pay for internet. Just so I can get Wi-Fi calling. And
I'm like so worried that's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm literally in my pool noodle in the middle of the Bahamas in the ocean. I'm like, what? What does my phone say? Oh my God, it's beeping. Yeah, no, like I still like no. I can't. I can't. I actually, and it's so funny because she's gonna kill me if she's watching this podcast. So I hope I already took it down. When I was pregnant with Elijah, and I love this family. I've married all 5 sisters in this family. Okay, so at this point we're like family. At this point we're family. I was pregnant with Elijah. Having contractions
shut up
at her wedding, and I'm doing it. And there's a picture where her photographer took a picture, and I'm literally like this big because I gained 70 pounds with my daughter, with my son. So I'm like this, and you see me. And her uncle who came in from California.
You're like, my water's about to break.
Yeah, was my OB, and he's like, how close are they? Like they're sitting there taking time. I had to leave my car there. My dad picked me up, came home, got my bag, and had my son.
Yeah.
So
that's how Adeline was.
I'm not going to leave you. I jokingly tell my clients, if I do not show up,
I'm dying.
Dead. Yeah.
I don't even call nobody. Don't call I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Because there is no boundary. I was like, the client, the bride was like, just go. It's okay. And I'm like, no, I can't leave you. Like
I'm the same way.
I have to be here. I have to be here. And like I said, now these sisters, I know them all. We are like, her mom calls me, hey, Mijita, Merry Christmas. Something like that. But it's just crazy. Like there is no boundary.
Well, what we do is so intimate, though. Like I don't think people realize like how intimate. I mean, I agree. It's more intimate than us sitting here like elbow to elbow talking. Like you're touching all over someone's face and their head. Like that's intimate.
And literally bringing their vision to life.
On one of the most important days.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you don't ever want to cause them extra grief or anxiety or any of that. So that's.
And then even after that, girl, I ain't gonna tell you all the stories. But I mean, at one point, I know there's pictures from photographers who are. I'm in there. I've already done hair and makeup. Half my team is gone. I'm just chilling, And I'm down there like, hold on, girl, your garter's not on. Hold on. So you'll see me like all up in there, pantyless or not. I'm like, girl, I'm not looking. Or they're like putting on their dress and it's corset and we got a little nip slip or something. Hey, girl. I'm like, I'm gonna touch your boobs, girl. Just like relax. And they're like, okay, or whatever. At that point, like you seen. We're like, girl, we
all
besties.
The things.
We besties at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
I've seen so many boobs. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm like,
sweet.
Yeah, it's we do so much more than just that.
Yeah.
But
you're like the hired best friend, kind of like making sure everyone looks good.
Yes.
Everything's straight. You got
and take all the stress for you.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah,
to an
for
extent.
Sure. It's funny.
Yeah. So we have our moments that we're besties, and you have your fast friends and all of that you have clients for life. We have those ones. But what about the ones that are like you're fired, like you are done, like as far as you canceling them or them canceling you?
Man, those are very rare and far in between.
I agree.
But when you do have those,
but you remember them.
Child, let me tell you, I can count the ones in my hand, and we do a lot of weddings every year, and it's always like 1, maybe 2 a year. But actually, as an example,
that's good odds.
Yeah, very good
That's
odds.
good
I cannot
odds.
complain. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
But actually, I had one yesterday, last night / this morning that is.
Yep.
So, in the industry, we all know October is the busiest month.
Yes.
The third weekend of October is the busiest.
The
month.
busiest for no reason.
This client, I was speaking to her in September, drafted the contract, and ghosted me, which is something that we're seeing now, right?
A lot.
Ghosted,
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot.
Ghosted. If you ghost me, I reach out, follow up.
Yeah.
2-3 times, you don't respond. Cool. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You found someone
I have
else.
to keep it moving, right?
Yeah, move on.
And about a week and a half ago, she's messenger, not even on email, messenger on Instagram,
Ghetto.
her timeline.
Oh, her
So,
timeline.
At that point, I'm
I'm
like,
sorry, ma'am. We're not. But
at that point, I'm like, oh my God, I
missed
forgot a
something.
client.
Yeah,
Because
you're
right
freaking
now,
out.
I have
Yeah.
7 weddings on that day.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh my God, I
crazy.
forgot the wedding. What am I doing? Was I on vacation? Did
Yeah.
I not see her? Did I,
Yeah.
so I'm freaking out and I
Yeah.
look and I'm
you're like, it was me.
yeah, and I was like, ma'am, I send you the email. Here are the and I forwarded to her. Here's everything you never signed. She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. So of course, being the nice person that we are,
You're let me
and trying
figure it
to
out for
accommodate.
you.
Yeah.
I
But that's a
took
red flag.
That should have been a red flag, but I was like, you know what? She's gonna be stressed.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, let me hook a sister up.
Yeah.
So I booked her event. I finessed my entire schedule for that day to accommodate her with 2 artists at the venue for hair and makeup because she had 5 people doing hair and makeup and herself, so that's 6.
Yeah.
So yesterday she calls to want to add 7 more for hair and makeup.
Dang.
But the venue only allows us from, well, let me
So
go
you
back.
need
Hold
more
on.
artists.
Okay.
Hold on. So the venue only allows them to come in at 11, but she gets married at 3, and the photographer wants her done at 2.
No, ma'am.
So you have 11 to
Wait.
1.
Wait. So then I said, ma'am, my contract states there is a 4-hour requirement. So she paid the venue for the extra hour. So now we're 10 to 2, 2 artists, 6 people hair and makeup. I'm like, it's a tight timeline. These are my veterans. They're gonna work fast. I need to,
Yeah.
Okay, great. So when I'm telling her I cannot accommodate this, she's like, just add artists. No, ma'am, I can't. The
I
wedding
don't
is this.
have
I
the
don't have
team,
any.
yeah.
Everybody's working.
Yeah.
So she calls me on the phone because this is text messages. I don't understand. I know you can do 11 people. Just do the 11 people because 2 of them are my mom and they have short hair, and the other one is my teenage daughter and she doesn't want lashes. You can do 11.
You're like quality control, bitch. You
Yeah.
want
so
15
then
minutes?
I was like, ma'am,
Sure, yeah, we can do it.
ma'am.
You want to look
I
like
am
shit?
literally telling you, it is impossible
Yeah.
to have this amount of services.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she's sitting there trying, I don't know if she was trying to convince me on how I should do my job, that I can do more than I can do. I don't even know what she's trying to do at this
Yeah,
point.
like, why are
She
you
was
talking?
desperate.
At
Yeah.
this point, I was like, you know
Desperate.
what?
She probably told everyone.
There is no way that we can accommodate
Yeah.
the services that you want. I will agree to only provide the services that are on the contract.
Yeah.
And that's it. She's like, you're not even willing to work with me. So then, of course, we come with the solution, her solution, to start at the hotel, do half, and then come
Oh,
to the venue.
no.
Don't do that.
Ma'am, we do not offer that service. We do it, but I'll reason with you.
I've been in this
We can
exact
start
scenario.
at 6 a.m. We'll finish you at 1 at the hotel.
Right.
With the 2 artists, plenty of time. The makeup will hold, give you a touch up,
Yep.
everything,
Yeah.
and then you go to your venue just to arrive for pictures. I don't want to do that,
Well, too bad, bitch.
ma'am. I'm trying to be accommodating.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you how this is going to
Okay,
work
how
out.
it's gonna work. I cannot. At this point, you need to listen to the professionals.
Right.
I am not gonna. I'm not gonna give you rushed work. I'm not
Right.
gonna compromise my
Yeah.
quality of
Nope.
work,
Right.
the experience, just because you think that I should and can provide 22 services,
That's
11 hair and makeup from 10 to 2.
Oh my gosh. No.
So at that point, I was
What are
like,
you,
I can't do
herding
it. You know
cattle?
what? We're just going to go ahead and I'm going to fulfill my contractual needs of the 6 hair and makeup will be there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this was at 3, well, I picked up my daughter, so it was like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
5:47 a.m. I get a text from her an immediate refund and cancellation for breach of contract.
Ooh.
And she wants a full refund
And
for her retainer. Wait a minute.
Oh.
For her retainer.
Okay.
Retainers are non-refundable
Forget the
after
retainer.
3 business
Forget
days.
the retainer, girl. Forget the retainer. My contract, clients have to be paid 30 days in advance.
Yeah.
Because she booked last week, she should have paid full payment.
Yeah.
Ma'am, your wedding's not even paid for.
Right.
So at this point, we're going to cancel
You're
your
a breach of
services.
contract, yeah.
At this point, we're canceling your services for your breach of contract, lack of payment,
Right.
and where you signed an initial.
Yes.
You know that retainer is non-refundable. Thank you. Have a great day.
Right.
Is she pissed?
Oh, girl, my phone's blowing up right now. I don't know who it is, but my watch keeps like.
I'm with you. I'm
Who
with
it
you.
is.
I'm like, you want to set these crazy, unrealistic things, and you want me to like, no, I would have done the same thing.
My gosh.
Yeah, it's nuts. How are you gonna tell me? It's like if I go to a mechanic shop
And tell them how to
I'm
do
like,
their job.
I have to work. I need you to change my motor in 2 hours because I gotta be at work.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You cannot tell a professional who's been doing this
How to do their job.
how to do their job.
Yeah.
and
This
then
is
complain
insane.
and write a bad review because
I don't even
the
care.
service
Ma'am,
is
do not
bad.
call me at 5:47 a.m. Period.
Yeah.
Don't text me at 5:47 p.m. I mean a.m. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I want you. I'm curious now. Who's gonna volunteer to do 22 services
Nobody.
from 10
Nobody.
to 2 by this Saturday? Mind you, it's
On-
Tuesday. This
Yeah.
Saturday.
She's
This
gonna call
coming
Ulta
Saturday.
and Sephora and Mac and be like, hey.
Let me tell you, I'm not without naming the venue. There ain't nothing but a Buc-ee's out there.
Right.
Just saying, 100 ain't nothing but rooms to go and a Buc-ee's out there.
Who was the some more tea actually. What's her name? You commented on it the other day on Facebook. She was like, there was like dead roaches in the venue and like
Oh, Jen.
I mean, you don't have to say that.
Yeah, I'm not going to
venue.
say it.
Yeah.
But out in Plantersville.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
I'm
they're
like,
like,
oh, no.
they,
Ghetto.
I guess the lady who runs it already had a run-in with them. And she's like, I just feel so bad for.
Wait, what? Who
The-
had roaches?
There's this venue
The
that's
venue.
like real ghetto. They handle things basically like this lady and there was like no toilet paper. There were like dead roaches all over the floor. I'm like,
Oh, that's gross.
at the
Yeah,
venue.
at the venue.
I'm like, ew, ghetto.
That is
Yeah.
nasty.
Ghetto.
But like everybody knows what it is because anybody who has worked there before has had that experience, unfortunately. You know, so it's like
How do people still book the place though if it's that gross? Maybe they just don't know.
they
Or
don't
they
know or they
budget.
Yep,
Mm.
can
I'm
afford
good.
it. Yeah,
I'm good. I'll get
Yeah.
married at the park.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. No.
It's
But
intense.
yeah, that's every once in a while you'll have a crazy, thankfully it's October.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 months left of the year and this is the one crazy that I had.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
good.
always
That's
fun.
for the whole year.
For the whole year.
That's
That's my one
great.
crazy.
Good
so
for
far.
you.
Yeah, so-
I'm proud
Okay,
of
you didn't have that many
Because-
crazies then.
Yeah.
I
no,
thought.
No,
yeah.
I don't get crazies like that kind of crazy, like
Yeah.
this lady
Yeah.
crazy. I get crazies where it's like it's unrealistic expectations or
Yes. I've gotten a
um,
few
That's
of those
normal.
lately.
That's-
And the thing is they bring in their inspo pictures, which is AI. Or
Haven't y'all seen
Photoshop.
that more and more and more?
Yes, and
Yes.
this one lady in
Yes.
particular.
I'm like, this is a robot, right?
Yeah, like
This isn't a real human.
it's not even. It's a painting. Like this is a really pretty drawing, but that's not going to happen.
Which
Like,
is
honey,
And
y'all
her
have
hair
your
is
face moves.
beautiful and flowing, and your hair's this long.
which is funny.
Like, is the hair in your purse? I
Girl,
don't know.
Yes, exactly. That's
Like,
why that's where
Oh, man.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, even my husband tells me, it's like, you could be a little nicer.
Mm.
Because when that happens, like, you almost want to laugh, but not laugh at them.
Right.
But-
And they're
Because we
like, I
know
wanna-
too much,
They're like,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to look like this. I'm like, all right, girl, you gonna walk around with a ring light, a camera with you?
Yeah.
You can do it. And they just look at me like, I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and a filter
Yeah,
and
and
all
a
that.
Well,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's partially like our fault, not ours, because we don't post imagery like this, but it is social media's fault for setting that
Yes.
unrealistic
Yes.
expectation of this is
Yeah.
what is achievable. It's not though. Like this is what's achievable after $1,000 in lighting, a $5,000 camera,
So wait,
Photoshop.
based on
like,
that, here's a little tea that I got.
It's just not
last
realistic.
couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. So my daughter turns 15 next year, and all of a sudden she wants a damn quinceañera.
Oh no!
I was like, all right,
$100,000.
yeah, like, let me start looking. Let me start
working.
Let me see what I'm gonna do. Girl, this is OnlyFans, but just start looking around. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hire this hair and makeup artist that is very well in that niche market.
Okay.
So I reach out and I was like, hey girl, I'm interested in me and my daughter, and obviously for her pictures. Can you let me know the pricing and if the ticket's available? She's like, yeah, great.
Where's this going?
So I'd like to think that my pricing is not on the high end. I don't charge $500
No, you're in the
client.
mid.
I'm not on the low end. I'm right in the middle, average, right? And I still get clients who ask for discounts or it's too much, right? It's cool. Not every client is my client.
You got a budget. We got it.
Yeah.
Man, when I said she charges $800 for hair and makeup for the quinceañera only, mom is $700.
What the fuck?
I was like, "Are you hiring, bitch?"
Yeah.
Because I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And
people like,
and
she's
aside
busy.
from that, she's busy. But aside from that, forget the pricing that I'm like, I'm cheaping myself out. Like, what am I doing wrong? How she can expect whatever. I don't even want that. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay busy and work and provide work for my artists.
Right.
But aside from that, I'm just like, how do you expect, and this is just me assuming, if Katie is looking for quinceañera hair and makeup and you already reached out to her and she charges $700 and you reach out to me and I charge not even half of that and you're like, I want this look, how do you expect to get that for this price?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make that make sense.
Yeah.
I said this is a $500 style.
Exactly. This
Not
is a 2-hour style with extensions, 2 hours long, and this is how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You could not have champagne on a beer budget.
Yeah.
No, and I think
Absolutely.
that I follow a lot of accounts, and now that they're very open about their pricing and the money that people spent on extensions and how long the style took. And I love the transparency of all of it because it's making not only our lives easier because people now understand that
clients now understand.
You're like, oh shit, she spent $2,000 on her hair, not $200. And I'm like, there's a big difference between $2,000 hair and $200.
$200,
Yeah.
Like, just even as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This person was charging $700 to $800 per service, mom, hair and makeup. That's 2 people, hair and makeup, more than 3 times what I charge. And she said that'll take 5 hours for 2 people.
Well,
back to this client who I was talking about for 22 services, wants it done in 4 hours. Make that make sense,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It's unrealistic.
I can understand why she charges what she charges because everyone has
that hair.
I mean,
it
takes 2 hours.
Get it. It's worth it. And honestly, I'll pay for it. That's not. But just to see and realize this client is complaining about 22 services
Right.
at a discounted less than half of what the other one costs for 4 hours. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, just compare and think about it.
Yeah.
Like, make that make sense. Or when they show us these Russian hairstyles.
Oh, yeah. Those are my favorite.
I'm like, do you know this took 3 hours?
Yeah.
And actually,
do you know you had 30 minutes?
Which when I've taken L Style, Eliana's classes and stuff.
Yep.
When I went to California to take L Style's class, oh my god, all the pictures that I posted with her,
amazing, yeah.
Girl, it was hilarious because she's like. And I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? Why you keep touching my... She's like, I've never worked with anybody with curly hair. Can you play with your hair?
Oh,
She's in Australia. No, people don't have curly hair.
They all have straight blonde.
She's like blonde hair. So I was like, oh, and I was like, how much do you average for an average hairstyle like the ones you do? She's like, about an hour and a half to 2 hours just for the bride.
All hair.
I'm like, we have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? It takes me 30 minutes just to think and talk. And I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So then, girl, it was so funny because, afterwards we were talking. We still keep in touch.
Yeah.
I'm like, so if I ask you for this hairstyle with my hair and I bring extensions, she's like, I wouldn't know what to do.
Wow.
And
that
this
just
is
tells
a
you.
renowned
Yeah, I know.
artist.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like this is what
Tanya.
she's known for.
Yeah, and here's Tanya that
She's
came.
still got
Remember,
some to
she
learn.
came here, Houston. I took her class too, and she's like, "Your hair's so pretty, it's so fluffy," and I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." Now that was a rainy day.
Our
And it was
demographic
like,
here, though.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
We're a melting pot.
Exactly.
You got
but
everything.
these clients want their Russian Australian hairstyles
Yep.
here.
Well,
And in this
it's
humidity.
not humid, girl. Don't even get me started on the humidity. I
Yeah.
love even when they're like, "I want the Hollywood wave," and there's like a tornado outside. And you're like,
Yeah.
is my hair gonna hold? No.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you, girl. You want it? I'm gonna give
It'll
it to
start
you.
out that way.
we're gonna use 14 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Let's do
spray.
this. You know, like I'll take a picture and it looks fabulous. As soon as that door opens, it's gonna be like, psh.
Yeah.
But let's do it.
So, but I think that's our, like, what we have to do in our marketing is tastefully explain this to people.
Yeah.
It's a very, very fine line between making someone feel very stupid for not knowing what we
Right.
know and educating people.
But that also
It's-
comes to that fine line, just like you were saying about this person with the lice. You can tell them,
Yeah.
explain, and try to educate, but if they ain't finna listen or want to understand,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. And you can only do so much.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can
But I
only
think
do
it's
so much.
important as business owners that we have to realize, number one, that client's probably their first rodeo. They have no idea. So
Right.
it's on us or their coordinator or somebody to teach them or coach them on what to expect, how things are going to go down. This isn't a fly by the seat of your pants type of thing.
Right.
You're going to need a lot of time to get those services done and done well so that they stay in place. And then also etiquette on things like, I mean, there's been so many people that I've read like online that are just completely griping about their vendors and how they want food while they're there all day or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's etiquette. That's how things are supposed to be done and done well, you know. But
Well, and I think with we're in the information age, right? Everyone has access to everything. There's so much information, and I was not raised like that. I've never taken an etiquette class. I don't like all the forks and all the spoons. Like some people were not raised with that information.
Wait a minute.
But
You know
Here's
what I'm
my
saying?
wait a minute. Did y'all not have this in school? Because I had a
No.
school in my school. Grantham, ratchet as it is, girl, like ratchet.
Taught you
ratchet.
etiquette? No.
Yes, we had a class called Career Connections and Etiquette. They taught you how to
That's
sew,
so great. No,
how to
no,
answer an email, when to fill out an application. Don't put your elbows on the table. Wait till everybody's
Nope.
seated. How you sit up. Like there was a whole ass class on
Nope.
this. Where is this going? I had that class. We
Well,
had that.
maybe-
Every middle schooler took that class.
well,
What?
Well, you're older though than me.
Yes, I am.
So, but I'm saying like
Can we
we
edit
all
that out, please?
No, okay, but
like I said, without saying how
I'm the youngest one in the room, so that just goes to show though,
That's why I'm
like,
not saying dates or no more numbers. Okay, this is it.
but that just goes to show how much has changed.
yeah.
There was like home ec, so home ec like was like teaching you how to cook and do all that. That I was like the last generation, like the last 2 or 3 years that they did that in school, and then they got rid of it right after me.
That's crazy because my brother,
Like-
my son has home ec in their school right now, middle school.
They're bringing it back.
They have.
Are they?
have home ec.
No, because they got rid of it there for like a while, and now
Yeah.
they're like,
No, they have
But,
home
like,
ec there
none of that
in middle
stuff.
school, but it's kind of, I say it's dumb, but it's harder on them. Because I remember in the home ec class, like everybody knew what they were making because you could smell it in the hallways.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
cookies and stuff.
Yeah.
But now with all the allergies and everything's going on,
my
like
God,
in
yeah.
my son's home ec class is more like, you know, cross contamination and cutting you. They're not really making food because, you know, the legality of, I guess, eating or consuming.
Wow.
But they still do. Girl, my son, they got, and I still know how. We have a sewing machine.
Oh, nice.
My son and my daughter both. Like my son has homecoming next week,
Smart.
and his pants were long. Girl, he hemmed them up himself.
Good.
He
That's
can
awesome.
press, he cannot. Like they do that stuff, you know. So they still have it. It's
Yeah.
just like back then. It's kind of like now. Back then, cursive was mandatory, and it's not anymore. That Career Connections class that we
Taught you
had
all of that,
was mandatory.
Yeah.
I think it
Mandatory.
should be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, when you're talking about etiquette, like, they don't think about, you're having someone there for 12, 14 hours and you're not going to feed them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Why would
Yeah.
you not?
Granted, at this point, that to me is common sense, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to ask for that. In this case, back to this client who wants me to stand for 4 hours and do 22. Do you think I don't need to pee?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Do I need a drink of water?
I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Can I just like, something? No.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like.
It's unrealistic.
It's
like,
unrealistic.
Where are you even getting
Yeah, where are you getting that? It just.
People amaze me, and most of the time not on a good note.
That's
you know,
what I'm saying.
I'm like, this is amazing to me.
This is like.
And because we're in the
mind-boggling
information
to
age,
me.
you can look it up.
Yeah.
Like you could figure these things out if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I think it's
Not us
people
bashing
nowadays,
clients, oh my
they
God.
don't think about anybody else but themselves.
Well,
And then how
like
you
that
can serve me.
entitlement.
Yeah. The entitlement
Yeah.
is on lock for sure.
I
Which
see
hate
from
how they
both sides,
think
though.
They paid you, so they own you.
Mm.
You work for them. Like they. Oh, no, ma'am, not me, honey.
So I can relate to both sides because
Because you're younger than us, is what
Yeah.
you're
no,
saying.
That is
oh my God.
She's like, yeah.
Perspective, guys.
Hey, and then you and me are like,
Yeah,
no, that's
seriously.
happening.
No, because I'm kind of in the middle. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, I want. Okay, that sounds so rude. Oh my God.
Exactly.
We love you.
Exactly. You see how when
We
she's
love-
saying it out loud, she's
She's like, I'm
maybe,
hearing it now.
Yeah, go for it. Say it, because I'm ready.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I don't know where I was going with this.
You can understand from both sides. Like,
Okay, so being information overload and being like, fuck, I don't know, just take care of it, right? And then
yeah.
because that's not how it was. Like I'm right on the cusp of tech and like old school having relationships with people, and like I'm right in the middle of those two generations smashing together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the way that people communicate and how they operate and how they think about other people has completely changed because of social media and like tech and all of that. That you don't have those people skills and the forefront to think about other people because you're so in your own world here. And I don't think it's because they're selfish. I mean, they are. It's just that that's all they know. They're so hyper-focused
And that's
on
how they were
this.
conditioned through, school.
So they
and
don't
stuff,
know how to separate the two or think about other people. They genuinely don't. And you're like, you're just a narcissistic asshole. And they're like, no, that's just how I function. You know? And you're like, okay, well, you can learn how to not function like that anymore. So like, I get both sides of it, and I teeter between the two sometimes. Like I feel like, okay, I still have compassion for other people.
I'm like, no, I don't.
So
no, it's kind of like, for instance, and I see it with my kids, and who knows from now to later how it's going to affect them, like COVID, right?
Yeah.
Or like when we talk to our clients now, I'm like, hey, how did you and your groom to be met? Oh, we met online, a dating app, Tinder, this and that, whatever. Whatever happened to barbecues? Whatever happened? Whatever
we don't have
happened?
that.
No, but whatever happened for that person to build that confidence to be like, okay, I'm gonna ask her out. What's a good line? Buy her flowers, stuff like that. You know, now it's a different generation and how they grew up and so forth. But to what extent do you not have common sense or understand the basic stuff in life that comes to entitlement again? Because I don't care how old I am, where I'm at, or whatever, whether I took this class or not. I know that I don't talk back to adults. I'm old, and I have a potty mouth, and I don't speak that way in front of my parents. Respect, you know. If I'm, even though I look rough today, I drop off my kids at school, and I knew I was going to be here for a while. I at least put some clothes on that looks appropriate. I've had people that come in for a job interview with a spaghetti strap shirt, no bra, and pajama pants. Yes.
Same.
So
and
okay, that's not your fault because of how you grew up.
Not at all.
You need to. There has to be a point in time where you need to grow up, and this is how the world is. Like it's not. You're just like, well, I didn't know no better. Which comes back, like we said to our kids. Well, they did it. Well, this did. No, that doesn't matter. Because at one point you have to take responsibility.
No, for sure.
Absolutely. And set yourself apart. And I feel like this day and age, if you have any human decency, you are going to be set apart because it's so it's so off the cliff, you know. For real.
People with moral compasses are so fucked right now.
I'm
like, oh, okay. Like it's just like the things people say, how they act, how they dress, come to an interview, like I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, I know your mama taught you better than this.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, girl. Because I've seen
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
I've seen some stuff being the classroom mom and helping out at the kids' school, and I'm just like,
really? Is it crazy? Are y'all in Spring?
no,
No, you're in Houston.
No. I'm in Houston, yeah, but my kids go to HISD before they used to go to KIPP. But girl, what these parents wear, the arguing,
what?
Yeah, fighting because like the stepmom's here and the mom's here, and it's our kids, graduation. She don't need to be here.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I had this one, and my husband was like, "I promise I'm not checking her out." But this one mom who was like thick. She literally was wearing something
see-through
that you wear at the club, and it's the after hours club.
Yeah.
And you
in the middle of the day at school?
at the kids' graduation for
shoot.
4th grade. That poor little boy was so embarrassed.
Yeah,
like
I
you
can
could
imagine.
see like
Mm-hmm.
nips, like you could see.
Fucking
And mind you, at this point, I'm not gonna say which one. Our kids were in River Oaks School, elementary area, and she showed up like that. Like, make that make sense.
She's trying to get her a sugar daddy.
Girl, but that's
not the place
right
and the
time
time.
and place.
Mm-hmm.
That like
Oh no!
where
Oh.
that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you can't. Like,
No.
and how is that kid? I don't say gonna have a chance because I'm not gonna, hopefully. But where else are they gonna get it?
Well, and I think too, if they
So
if they
sad.
see that and they live that, they're gonna we talk about this all the time. Like it's a pendulum swing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know what I'm not gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna be, but I know what I'm not
Not
gonna
gonna
be. And they seek something outside of that, which is hopeful in that case.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. Wow. People are amazing and not always
Not always,
not always
yeah.
a good way.
Amazing.
I'm amazed.
And
The audacity is at an all-time high. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, wow, that is amazing.
Girl, that's what I'm telling you. This is again back to the beginning of the question. Why do I do what you do? Because it's never a dull moment, and I live
Ever.
for the tea.
Yeah, the
Like-
tea.
Like,
Yeah,
and I always
because the
tell
family
clients-
dynamics are crazy.
Yeah, I always tell clients, I'm like, girl, I've been in the industry 20 plus years. I've seen it all. And then you see something and you're like, shit, I have not seen it all. I have not seen it all. I just saw it all.
So this is why I'm staying.
Yeah, so this is, what, I'm going to stay for free touch-ups, girl. Just
Right.
I want to know how this goes. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Free touch.
you can never. Like,
Oh my
I can
God.
never. Like, I'm just like.
Did you
what?
see the video of that girl that got kicked out of the wedding, the makeup artist?
Oh, yeah, a client showed me that video because she was taking behind-the-scene pictures, right?
Oh, she was
Her
all up in their wedding. I'm like, girl,
Yeah, no.
leave. What are
Yeah.
you're the hired help, literal. Like,
Yeah.
leave.
No.
You're the first person that should be out of there.
Yeah.
No, and see, that's what it goes back to. Like, half the time I'm like in and out doing my work that I forget to take after pictures. I sure as hell am not gonna stay at your wedding.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
I worked all day.
Yeah, I worked
My feet are swelling. My back hurts.
My back hurts. I gotta pee.
My mouth is dry as hell from this
Because you
coffee.
didn't even give me no water, girl.
Right.
Nothing. Yeah. Mm-mm. No, not me. I'm not in and out.
Oh,
in and out.
man.
I'm too old for this, man. I'm tired. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
So
I
funny.
can't do it.
Yeah. So to bring it in for a close, all right. So what is something that you would encourage maybe the next generation that's coming in? Anything you want to tell them or leave them with?
I will leave you with, don't ever be discouraged. We, keep pushing forward. I've been through some crazy, bad experiences, times that I'm like, I just want to give up and cry and just stop. Like, it's like, I'm broken, I'm hurt, I can't do it. But just get up. And the most important part is to learn from it. Learn from it, improve upon it, or whatever the situation is. Don't ever give up. And just educate yourself.
Yeah.
Educate yourself so that nobody can intimidate you or stop you from being better.
Yes. So good. So good. I love
That
it.
needs a round of
Thank you.
applause. That was
Thank
like,
you. Well, thank you for coming on. I've enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed our conversation, our first conversation ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
In person. And until next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So fun.
That was